All right, up next for our guest speakers, straight from the farm, we have Harper Kaufman. Yee-hoo. Yee-hoo. Come on up here, Harper.
He knows the farmer call. Is this on? All right. What's up, Glenwood High School? Woo! All right. I'm Harper Kaufman. I'm a farmer. I'm co-owner of Two Roots Farm in Missouri Heights. We're moving down to Basalt this year, so big stuff happening. But we grow organic vegetables and we raise animals on pasture. I was really excited to be invited here today because when I was in high school, I had no idea that I was going to grow up to be a farmer. I actually didn't really think anyone could grow up to be a farmer. I didn't really think about farming at all. To be honest, when I thought about farming, I probably thought of like a old cowboy with like a handlebar mustache, or like Hillbilly John that's like skinning hogs and stomping around in the mud or something. And I'm a little bit different, and I wanted you guys to think about this because I love my job and I wouldn't trade it for the world. I graduated high school in Edwards, Colorado, so not too far from here, and I ended up going to college in Montana at the University of Montana, Missoula, and that was where I first started thinking about farming. They have a university farm there, and I was lucky enough to find it, and that's where I first learned about how to grow plants and raising animals and what it takes to produce all the food we eat. And I also learned that I really love it. It was a bit of a revelation for me that, you can be outside all day and you can make a living and you never have to report to a desk job. And I really liked that. I didn't want to have to go sit behind a desk. On the farm, we would work alongside each other, and we'd be pruning trees or laying down straw or pulling weeds or whatever the task may be. But all the while, we got to share each other's stories and joke around and get to know each other. It honestly didn't really feel like work to me. And it still doesn't really feel like work to me. Not to say that it's all, rainbows and peaches or anything, but I really do enjoy my day-to-day. And I still can't get over the sense of fulfillment and pride that I get seeing my hard work pay off as food on someone's plate. It's really fulfilling to actually get to see literally the fruits of your labor turn into, a meal for yourself and your family and your friends and your neighbors. We really need young people like you to think about farming as a career. We're actually experiencing a bit of a farming crisis in the U.S. right now. The average age of a farmer is 60. So, you've all been paying attention in math class. You know that if an average is that high, we don't have many young people farming. So it's really important that we need to get young people to take over for when farmers retire. It's so easy to eat without thinking about where your food comes from. I know that certainly when I was in high school and before I became a farmer, I didn't think about, who planted this seed or raised this baby animal, to get and took care of it and harvested it and cleaned it and washed it and delivered it all the way to get to whatever I was eating that day. Because the truth is that we have a pretty broken food system, and it's up to people our age to take it back for the future. So, right now we ship our food all around the world, back and forth. Chickens will be killed here and then shipped off somewhere else to be cleaned, and then shipped off somewhere else to be sold, and then shipped back to be eaten somewhere else. So it's a crazy system, but it's a bit complicated. And I really do think that if we change the way we farm, we can save the world. Farming affects everything from healthcare to climate change. So it's a pretty big deal. And what's better is that good farming practices aren't just good for humans, but it's great for the earthworms in the soil and the deer in the woods and the earth as a whole. So I love getting to be a part of that and to feel like I'm making my small little positive impact on the world. I'm super passionate about regenerative farming, not just because I think it can save the world, but it also has made an awesome life for me. I get to be my own boss, which means I work really hard I get to make my own schedule, and we work really hard in the spring through the fall. But then, goodbye. I'm done. All right. Nope. All right. I'll just yell it. Oh, we're back. Okay. All right. Well, anyways, I get to make my own schedule. So we work really hard in the spring through the fall, and then I get to ski and chill pretty hard in the winter. I really enjoy that. And I also, like this past winter or this past season, if we had enough of the farm work done, we decided Thursdays were river days. We took half the day off and got to go float the river or go for a hike. So there's a lot of power in doing something you love and making your own job so you can be your own boss. Farming definitely isn't for everyone, but I do consider you to think about it. It's something that I had to confront when I decided I wanted to be a farmer. Was a lot of people didn't think that it was possible to make a living doing it, or they suggested that I was throwing away my talents or my brains to do something unsophisticated or basic like farming. But, farming takes a lot of skills and a lot of smarts, and it's very important. But ultimately, I really just had to decide that the only notion of success that mattered to me was my own. Each one of you deserves to pursue a life that is true to you and true to your ideals. You'd be so much happier and more fulfilled if you do something that reflects your values and your passions and not try to live up to someone else's expectations or try to obtain some symbol of success that we've been told is important to have. At some point, you got to decide what you stand for and what you believe in, and I hope for your sake that you invent your own notion of what it means to be successful. And once you find something that you really care about and that you really enjoy, then you should embrace it and just forget about what anybody else says or thinks. So you're allowed to invent your own idea of a successful life. I hope you do that. It probably is not going to be easy. It's probably going to be hard, and it might be unglamorous, like having dirt under your nails all the time, but you'll be much happier for the effort. So thank you.